Oi, Brad was speaking about the foolish people, the EFF. Those guys are foolish for, for facts, right? There's no need to be giving them that much airtime. This channel is all about waking up the minds of South Africans and proper South Africans who are looking for change, right, in their um, lives and the lives of their loved ones, right? So, what is the topic today? The topic today is about the economy of South Africa, right? We just want to understand the economy of South Africa. Here we say it's the economy, but this economy is not working for us. And mainly if you are a blackish or whatever, you speak Bantu, right? The economy is not working for you, and you wonder why. Why is the economy not working for me? This is my land, right? I'm a native here. This is my country. Why is the economy not working for me, right? First, for start, you won't understand the economy unless you first start with the geography, right? The geography of the country is the one that's supposed to be dictating the economy of the country. Like, we'll take Panama. I don't know if you guys know Panama. If you do, but if you don't, Panama is in the Americas, right? It's in between South, it's a country that holds South and North America together, right? That's Panama, right? So now, the Americans needed to pass through, create not a viaduct as such, but a canal, right? A canal that will allow the ships to pass through and not take the longer route towards what is that Maradona's country at the bottom? Chile and Argentina, right? Initially, ships were going all down there, then go up. Can you imagine how much of a journey that is? I mean, mainly the ships from the western side, right, coming to the eastern side. It was a long journey. So now, these guys, they decided to do a canal in Panama, which is a country which is holding, or country in between the South and the North of America, right? So now, they built that canal and they could manage to pass through. So now, the economy of Panama was centered around the canal, right? Why? Because that is where you will have those, ladies of the night standing there making money, country itself making money, the tailors and everything. I think there was a movie, The Tailors of Panama. That was an amazing movie, right? I watched it a long time ago. I don't even remember. It's really a long time. So now, the geography of that country detects or depicts, right, the economy of the country, right? You take a look at Egypt. It's got the Suez Canal, where ships are not being bombed by the Yemenis or the Yemen guys, the Tutsis. Who's this? Right? If it's not bombed by those and has to force to pass here through the Cape of Good Hope or Kapstadt, right? It will pass through the Suez Canal, right? So the Egyptians are making money from that, right? The geography of the country. So what is the geography of South Africa? The geography of South Africa is a godly given geography. It's something that we should be proud of, something that we should thank God for, something very amazing. We were, blessed, I will say, with our geography. The reason why I'm saying so is because in South Africa we've got a sea, a very wide sea. We are not a landlocked country like Botswana, Lesotho, and Swaziland, and a lot of African countries are landlocked, some of them, right? So we have the savannah, we have the desert, we have the Arab land, which is big, wide. We have the forests, which we have the animal areas like the Kruger National Park, right? We have, we are on the south tip of the most amazing continent ever. So geography, in terms of geography, our country is what? It's a beautiful and amazing country. Yeah, though in those old days, right, olden days, Namibia was part of us. We were a very big country, right? South Africa is almost around 1.2 or so million square meters in terms of land size, right? So we got a very good land. We got, and the issue becomes the runoffs, right? Because we are on the southern tips. When it rains, the rain goes where? To the sea, right? You got the rivers, but though the problem, it becomes our government where they do not think that we need to capture this water. We need to create big dams like the Hoover dams, like, you got areas where you can create those type of dams, right? You got people of Mozambique being flooded by water from South Africa each and every year, right? Of which that water should have been captured and be used for our people. But because you got people who cannot think forward, then it becomes a problem for the people of Mozambique. And also, we are called a water scarce country, of which we are not. I will argue with that. Why? Because the rainfall, we experience good rainfall. 100 mils, 150 mils, 200 mils some years. It's a very good rainfall that we have. The only thing that we fail at is to have proper strategies to capture this water, to retain the water. And when we retain the waters in the wrong way. We put it in dams, right? It evaporates. Why? Because we know we got a very hot sun sometimes, right? Instead of having sort of underground bunkers where we could capture the water and store it there, we don't. Why? Because, you got, as I say, a government that does not know what they are doing at all. You can't talk about money. They have money that it keeps on being wasted. You can see the Auditor General report each and every year, even though I know I'm not, I'm very much skeptic about that Auditor General report. What does it mean? It doesn't make sense. Some of the things, why? Because we don't know how the municipalities are run, right? We did a lot of reports and trying to get municipalities to save money, but no, they are not willing. They don't care, right? We did studies like what we call water demand management, or we call water demand management, let's say for the city of like Johannesburg, right? You got pipes which are leaking. The water that you draw from the Vaal River into the rainwater, right, systems, right, it needs to be locked, right? You need to understand how much water moved from the dam into the system. From rainwater to the JRA or Johannesburg Water, no, not JRA, J-Water, Johannesburg Water Reservoirs, right? You need to know how much water ran from that system of rainwater into Johannesburg water system, right? You locked that area to understand if are there any losses of water within that conveyance, right? Within the movement where the water moves, is there any losses of water? Of which those things are very expensive. Yes, we charge per hour. I'm not saying I'm doing it, no longer I did it sometimes. But anyway, it's something that it gives you at least a heads up of understanding what is going on with the water issues, right? So to save water. So now that is the geography of South Africa. Even though I expand a little bit, come on guys, you need to, I've got a very big mind. That's the reason why. So now, okay, we look at the GDP of South Africa. We look at the, we got the GDP, we got the population, right? So I'm going somewhere with this, right? When you look at the GDP of South Africa, we are around 400 and something $million, right? Per year, right? You got places like Nigeria where we tend to, fight a little bit. And so some years Nigeria is up, we are low. Some years we are up, Nigeria is low. And we call ourselves the giant of Africa, fuck off. So anyway, those type of things, they kind of like tell in terms of what the country is capable of, right? You got the population, which is around almost, including these outsiders, we got more than 80 to 100 million. We don't know. You can talk about statistics. The last time there was a tally, I think it's around 3 years or 4 years ago. I don't remember well, but anyway, those the state South Africa, they don't have proper statistics of saying how many we are in this country, right? They might project around 60, 70, but we don't know, right? So we got the land, we got the GDP, and we got the population. Those are three amazing things, right? Land meaning the geography, right? Those are three very important aspects, right, when it comes to the issue of how far the country should be, how big should South Africa be, right? In terms of, as the geography is concerned, as far as it concerns, we got mines, we got, Arab land, we got seas, we got things that the government could have used to do what? To beef up our people's incomes, to beef up jobs creation, there are a lot of things, right? Besides when it comes to technology and stuff like that, because we lag behind. I believe we are 100 years behind the Americas and stuff like that. And some people will come here and say, our banking sector, yes, banking sector is good. I do not argue on that point because we are stupid. When you see the banking sector being good in a country, just know that country is not a good country. Why? Because the people of the country will be suffering. And that's what is happening in South Africa. The banking sector is good. It's better than America, where they are still using checks and stuff like that. We are using electronics in Fana. Like this Lusufi guy want us to use electronics. And I say, Papa, cash is king, right? Tomorrow, you are not aligning with Malema's values. Malema chase you and you bank your money in the system and they lock and they close all your bank accounts. Papa, you will appear in the, pit level 3. Not the water flash, no, the pit level 3. Yeah. So those type of things we kind of like, speak. We want to do this, but let's focus on the ground first. Let's understand what are our people going through. What will be the outcomes of these issues, right, we are raising. So, yeah, now you have the problematic aspect of it, right? There are a few countries which their GDP is way much ahead of us, double our amount. South African GDP, you got like Taiwan. Taiwan is a small country. I think 30-something thousand square kilometers. It's got around 40 million, if not 26 million people, right? But the GDP is double our GDP. It's around 800 or something billion dollars, right? So you wonder, what is going on here? There is a sort of a shortfall here, right? Our land size is 1.2 million. Our population is 60 to 70 million. Our GDP is half the GDP of a small country. You take Switzerland, right? Switzerland has got nothing. They don't even probably have a mine there. For that matter, it doesn't make sense. They're only 36,000 square kilometers. I think they are around, how many? Maybe 20 million people or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But they can't be more than 40 million people there, right? They are not even half our population. But those people, they are more active than we are. What is making that, right? The economy of that country is way much better than our economy. You ask yourself a question, why, right? First of all, let's consider the issue of our wealth. Where is our wealth concentrated? Our wealth concentrated in wrong people's hands, right? Very wrong people's hands, right? You can say, yeah, they are there. But why didn't the government did a proper program? Not the BEE nonsense that is actually catering for the cronies. No. A proper atmosphere for a black child to grow, to have, to make ends meet. That's what our country should have done. But they did not do that. Why? Because they do not understand it. And that's where I go back to Mamope when he says, what? Right? So you can tell that these people had no idea of what they were doing from the start, from the end. The apartheid government was doing well, even under sanction. We have never been under sanction, but we can't even boast of anything, right? So that's where, oh, we can boast of the debt that we have to the IMF and the World Bank. And that one we are so strong on, right? So now you look at all these things. These things are some of the issues that are there that shows that we have a problem in this country, and mainly as far as our economy is concerned. I say, look at this. Many pay whatever, SARS, right? Why? Because they are working, right? So now you have around 7 million people working. You have a lot of people not working at all. You have the elderlies which cannot work anyway, right? So if these morons could have created a lot of jobs for these kids, right? You got 36% of unemployed, which is around 40 to 50, because a black man is projection is always wrong, right? Right? You got you got like a lot of percentage of people not working. Why not get those people to work? Let them pay more tax, right? Then we'll have enough for this country, right? We won't even, falter because you won't even be paying much monies to people who are not working because there will be less, right? But the morals, they don't understand that. All they understand is to pile up their monies in their bunkers there in their houses. Yeah, I know I'm saying cash is king. It's important, but I'm not talking it in the context of morals. Right? I'm talking like that in a context of reality, right? Like if you take, you go, your card does not work, at least you got money in your pocket, you can pay with monies, right? That's why I say cash is king. So, yeah, as I said, the demographics, that's where the problem is, right? You got those brown people, you got the black people, you got the Indian people, you got the colored people, you got the white people, and the very, very black people, right? It depends where they come from. I know the vendors are a little bit blacker than me. Yeah. But anyway, you have those demographics. You check where is the money concentrated on. 20% of our country's population. That is highly wrong. Why? We'll still go back to the government. The government is to blame on this aspect, right? If there were programs that they are putting down, people know about those. Because it's not like the programs are not there. They're there. But this government always hide those programs from the masses of our people. Our people, they do not know what is going on. And that's why they're creating that loophole for this type of EFF nonsense to exist, right? Because if you got people to think well, people will see nonsense from a far distance, right? They will understand that that is stupidity, right? Whatever you are saying, you are talking nonsense. If I'm talking nonsense now, people will understand. It's as easy as ABC. But if you are not teaching people the right things, people, they will even take in nonsensical stuff and make them like they are real stuff, right? And that's where the problem is, right? So the demographics of South Africa is one of the issues that 20% of the country's wealth, 80% is in 20%'s hands, right? That means 80% they are fighting for this 20. That's why, anyway, I don't want to say that. But yeah, ownership. As we said, the issue of the land, which is one issue that needs to be addressed, right? The issue of, the wealth. One issue that needs to be addressed to say, who's owning our land? Who's owning our wealth? But people, land is not wealth. Let's not try to be clever on that. I'm saying we got 1.2 million square meters. Switzerland has got around 36,000 square meters, right? If you count how many times does Switzerland go into your country, you will see land is not wealth, right? So the main thing is for understanding of all these things, how do they work? And when we do understand, it will be easy and imperative for us to take the right decision, right? But if we don't, we'll always be like the EFF, right? We got the issue of the Reserve Bank. Who owns the Reserve Bank, right? We got those who owns the Reserve Bank as shareholders. Got the portion owned by the government. Yes, China want to nationalize that. For what reason? To be able to loot Everything that the government has done, there has been looting, looting, looting. You see all the African countries, government came in, took away from the colonialists and looted, 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 not thinking that, oh, there is tomorrow. Look how Africa is, right? To say there is no wealth in Africa, right? There is a lot of wealth. You can say land is wealth, but it's not. But there is a lot of wealth in Africa. There is gold, there is diamonds, there is this, there is that. But at the end of the day, non-functionality, across the board, homogenic, right? It's homogeneous. It's all throughout, right? So now you wonder, what is the problem with these people? It's a mindset issue. Still loving a paper, still thinking that a paper is real. Look, America is just printing papers and making fools out of people, and people say, yeah, because America is stable, we can trust. Seriously, man. Anyway, yeah, it's an issue for another day. So the biggest problem with the economy of South Africa, it's mainly, first of all, the government. The second of all, in very much wrong hands. The third of all, it is not moving a needle. The fourth of all, is not competitive. The fifth of all, it is not looking at ways to infiltrate into Africa. Because, man, South Africa has got potential to infiltrate throughout the whole of Africa, help Africans grow, create amazing things in Africa, right? Look, South Africa's people are very intelligent, but it does not help to have intelligent people, but no proper government. It does not help at all, right? Because that's the reason why people like Elon Musk have ran away from South Africa in those days. That's the reason why there are still a lot of young people who are running away from our country. Why? Because you got a foolish government that does not understand that we are losing better people and proper people to keep, right? When, you need to value people for who they are, what they are capable of, right? We do not do that, right? We disregard people, and that's why people like Malema has been disregarded. I say, look at Transnet when that guy was there. Look at PIC when that guy was there. Look at Eskom when that guy was there. Being disregarded has cost us what? A lot of people dying from load shedding. The sick people from the hospitals and stuff like that. There is, I think, a wrong way of thinking, and we do not learn, as I said initially, from what? From history, to say, what does history foretold, right? What has happened before? What is the prediction of history to the nowadays, right? We do not look at that, right? People say they're historians, but they don't know what they're talking about, right? So the economy of South Africa has got a lot of issues, has got, I think, is one of the problematic economies in the world, hard to solve. Why? Not to say it's very hard to solve. It can be solved if you put the right people in proper positions. And I'm not talking about those who copied and passed. No, I'm talking about those who have a know-how, knowledge of how to do things, how to make things work, right? You have a lot of our brothers don't understand what the law means, what the law does. Like you will say, when a person has stolen $1 billion or robbed the government of $1 billion, that is collusion. When a person has robbed the government $1 million, that is crime. You're trying to understand those aspects. You say, but where are we coming from? What is our problem? What do we understand? What do we understand, right? Because it remains a matter to be spoken about, talked about, to say, but it can't be that somebody loses, like Steenhoff losing more billions from the for our PIC guys and insurance, whatever, and at the end of the day, everything is lovey-dovey. You don't even hear this AfriForum talking about PIC issue. The Steenhoff issue. You don't hear that, right? Why? Because our focus, it's a narrow focus, right? We do not have a broader focus of saying, this is how things are supposed to be, right? So, yeah, I do not want to keep this video long, but the economy of South Africa in a nutshell is a very problematic economy, right? And that's why we don't grow, right? We'll never grow in this aspect. Why? Because we are not focused on things that will make a country grow its economy, right? America has got IRS, which is dangerous to have. In actual fact, they need to abolish that thing, the Fed. They need to abolish that system. It's a dangerous system. Why? Because in the long run, it will see a lot of people exiting America. Why? Because it's not a good system. It is a forceful system that they will kill you for you to pay your taxes. But anyway, yeah, that is in a nutshell, a little bit extract of the South African economy. We'll have part 2 on the economy of South Africa, and we'll discuss more, like in detail, because now it's just touching the surface in actual fact. I'll tell you what is happening by the markets. I'll tell you what is happening by the city deeps. I'll tell you what is happening in the government. There's a lot of things which are happening which are very wrong, which are not being looked at and, being altered, right? They're just letting them to be the same, of which at the end of the day, the people who are actually gaining things are wrong people. And when wrong people start gaining things, the country becomes a dangerous country. And that's our country at this present moment in time, right? We have a lot of people who got money who are dangerous, and that's not right, right? And you can't do anything. You talk about them, the police are useless. You don't have a proper security system in the government. You wonder, but where are we going? That's why we need a new dispensation, and it's coming, right? So, yeah, we're going to talk more about these economy systems, not the EFF. EFF are stupid. Leave them to be stupid. It says what? Do not argue with a fool, unless people will never notice any difference, right? Let's leave them to, bury themselves in their tears. They will see on 2026 elections. Oi, oi. See you on the next video.